Hi, this is Eric Naylor from Minnesota Kung Fu. This is the second in 2 videos on footwork. The first one I showed the basic steps: advancing, cross-stepping, pivoting, passes. This one we show more how to start using that. So some patterns you can do. The first pattern we're going to do is what's called 8-direction stepping. You'll see it's in a lot of different styles. They'll do it. They might call it different things. Some will use a compass like north, south to show the directions. Some will use clocks and say like 12 o'clock, 1:30, 3 o'clock. Others will use numbers. I just use a number system. It's quicker for me to call it the number 1 than just say at 1:30 or something like that. So that's why I use a number system. Different styles would use different numbers. The numbers I'm using are the ones that I created for my own teaching. But I'll just run through it. So you can start in a neutral position, just standing and stepping. You can also start in a stance with one side forward. Doesn't matter, either way. If I start neutral, number 1 is just going to be a step off, 45-degree angle to the right. My hips turning the direction I'm stepping. Number 2 would just be the same thing with the left leg. So all of these will be numbered so it goes right, then the same thing on the left side. So 1, 2. If it helps you, you can lay down something on the ground or use chalk to draw a line. You want to have that nice 45-degree angle. Just for your accuracy in your footwork, when you're actually stepping, yeah, it might be a little bit one way or a little bit the other way. You have to apply it to where the person is, so it's going to always vary slightly when you're actually using it in a real fight. But that'd be 1 and 2. 3 would be off to the side, straight to the right. 4 would be off to the left. 5 would be forward. 6 back. 7 diagonally back. Again, my hips are still facing towards the center. And 8 diagonally back the other direction. So that whole grouping is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keeping my weight 50-50. What you don't want to do is just kind of reach out and touch with the foot. You want to actually step into it. Because this might be multiple pulls. I'm moving that direction, then may move a different direction. So I want to kind of commit to my footwork on this. If I am doing like a right lead here, then it might be, when I go to the 1, advance. When I go to the 2, it might be a pass. So different footwork can be used with it. I can also do a cross step to any of the angles, or a pivot step to any of the angles. So I can move forward and pivot, or to the side, or backwards, depending where my opponent is. How much momentum they have coming forward, whether I'm engaging to attack, or whether they're charging at me and trying to get away. So you can kind of mix it up with the basic footwork from the first video. So that's the 8 directions. Just to make it a little bit clearer, I'll draw a picture. So it's basically just a plus and an X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be forward, 6 would be backwards, 7, and 8. So that's the 8 directions if you picture that on the ground. The next one will be, that's all straight lines. The next one will be circular actions. So I mean, you just kind of use a hand position from bottom, but you could use other hand positions. That doesn't really matter. What I want you to do is start moving in circles, not just straight lines. So what I'm going to do is first just do a basic circle. Keeping my knees bent, but basically just walking in a circle. When I change positions for my hands, I can just turn my palms in, turn my feet. This hand comes up underneath my forearm in front of my elbow, and then comes up back to center. I'm looking kind of through the point between my thumb and my fingers. Fingers are relaxed, they're not rigid, so everything kind of stays relaxed on this. Then I can start doing figure 8. So basically, I did the circle. On this figure 8, what I'm going to do is do half the circle. When we get to the top, I'm going to cut back in an 8 through the middle. Come back up the other side when I get to the top, and you can kind of see it's like a yin-yang symbol at that point. When it comes to the other side, it makes the other side of the circle, creating an 8 in the middle. Now you could have posts or trees here that you're circling, or you can just kind of picture it in your mind. So if you watch me demonstrate this, I'm walking, I get to the top of the circle, I cut through the middle. When I'm changing directions here, I'm going to turn, change my hands too. So I walk the big circle, then cutting through the middle, the small circle. Of course on this you could also, when you get here, I could come right back into the figure 8 directly. I wouldn't have to continue back to the big circle on this. You could also have multiple trees at different positions and just have move around and circle from one to another. You could then add stripes to the targets, you know, and use that as a reference. But the idea is you're just moving constantly, so you get used to, in case there's multiple opponents, you can attack one direction, move another direction. How I combine this with the first exercise then, in actual case, someone's throwing a punch in, I might step off to like a number 2 to avoid that punch. Then I might come around with a circular action to get to their back and do a takedown or something like that. Or again, if it's multiple opponents, I might be stepping off one angle, circling, cross-stepping, pivoting, constantly moving to face new angles, new threats. Last one I'm going to show on here is a cross-step exercise. Basically, taking your right lead, back foot's going to cross behind. Again, this is a transition step. I'm not very balanced here, so I'm going to immediately then go back to my stance. Now I just want to practice the other side, so I'm going to do a pass forward and do the same thing. Cross, get back to my stance, pass forward. If I'm going backwards, I cross, swing my foot around to get back to my stance. Cross. I don't have to do a pass because I'm already changing sides. As much as possible, you want your hands pretty much stationary at this point. In actual fight, they're going to move, but I don't want you tying your feet with your hands. Your hands should be able to stay in their guard position, whatever it is, as you move. So even as you're kicking, I don't want you dropping your hands because that's a bad habit. So keep them up, whatever technique you're doing, so that when you need to control someone's hands or attack or defend, you're able to. So mix those up on your own, and then you can try different combinations. There's lots of other exercises you can do, but that'll be it for today. Thanks.